We saw fashion and film coming together for Hollywood's biggest night. Actors stunned on the red carpet.
What if I told you that the most shocking thing at the Oscars 2026 wasn't who won, it was everything that happened around it? We already know that the Oscars really do give us everything in one night. The drama, the fashion, and all. But there's a hidden part of it that people rarely talk about. The reaction, the people backstage, the hidden meaning before every action. Well, stick with me because we are exploring the side of Oscar that people don't like talking about. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for all the juicy details of celebrity life. Their outfits had meanings we never knew existed. When it comes to the Oscars, we really don't know where to start. Is it the side eyes or the awards that left us all speechless? But we can't talk about the Oscars without talking about the red carpet, or what I love to call Hollywood's most expensive group project. It always starts simple. Everyone gets dressed up and starts smiling for the camera, but every single look is always saying something. So let's talk about the three that had people talking the most. Timothée Chalamet. When Timothée showed up in that full white suit, we all thought the same thing, right? Who would design this? Well, the suit was a custom Givenchy design. And when he threw on those dark sunglasses, it gave the look the essence we didn't even know was missing. But was it the best look? Was it worth it to wear wide-leg trousers with a body-shaped top? The internet did not think so because people began calling him Kevin from the Backstreet Boys. Someone even said, "What in the Kevin Federline is this?" Even Conan O'Brien made fun of him during the opening monologue. But honestly, love it or hate it, you were talking about it, which is kind of the whole point. Teyana Taylor. We all know Teyana never comes to these types of events to play. She showed up in a Chanel gown that was basically 3 outfits in one. The top part was sheer, like see-through, and it had thin straps and silver crystals running across it. Then from the waist down, it exploded into black and white feathers all the way to the floor, with a long train dragging behind her. Oh, and she had over 60 carats of diamonds on, because why not? But what got the internet in a rave was not the diamonds that kind of looked like feathers from afar. It was that hidden inside that dress were her daughters' names, Junie and Rue. She had it embroidered in cursive with a little heart. She brought her kids with her without bringing them. But her emotional gesture was nothing compared to Michael's power move. Michael B. Jordan. When Michael B. Jordan walked into the Oscars red carpet wearing a custom all-black Louis Vuitton suit, we should have guessed then that he knew something we didn't. Because that outfit looked like it was designed for someone who already knew that they were going to win. The suit did not have a regular collar. It had a high, stand-up collar with black buttons that went down the front. I believe he went to his designer and said, "I need a Mandarin-style jacket, but just make it Hollywood." And then the designer added a little silver chain at the pocket and paired it with glossy black shoes. So while we were busy rating outfits and arguing about who wore it better, Hollywood was busy making quiet moves. And that's where the real Oscar 2026 red carpet scandals begin. What if winning an Oscar isn't just about talent, but timing and power? But it wasn't only the dresses that we missed. We also missed the real truth behind the awards. Or should I say, decisions. Because when it comes to the Oscars, it's never just about who gave the best performance. It's also about timing, momentum, and honestly, who's in the room. Leonardo DiCaprio? Let's start with Leo. At this point, Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't just attend the Oscars, he shows up, and the whole room shifts. And you can't say that he hasn't earned that privilege. Anyway, this year he was nominated for Best Actor for his role in One Battle After Another, and he walked in wearing a classic black tux with a full mustache, which, by the way, everyone was confused about until they found out he grew it for his next film with Martin Scorsese. But his facial hair is not what got people talking. It was his presence and how nervous he made people by just existing in the same room as them. So even when he didn't win, we can safely say that Leo made people feel something that they didn't even think was possible. Francine Maisler. And then there is Francine Maisler. The name may not sound familiar to you, but trust me, Hollywood knows her, and she is so respected in the industry that Hollywood even created a whole new section of awards just to honor her. Imagine that. So who is she? Francine Maisler is a casting director. Her job is basically deciding who gets to be in a movie. A pretty cool job if you ask me. She's been doing it for decades, and apparently she is extremely good at what she does. She was the casting director for films like Sinners, 12 Years a Slave, The Revenant, Birdman, and Succession. Basically, if you've watched something good in the last 20 years, there's a decent chance that her name is in the credits. She is so good that she got nominated for the very first ever Oscar for Best Casting, and yes, that category literally did not exist before 2026. She won, and the fact that she has top directors on speed dial should tell you everything. She is the kind of person who can change your whole career with one phone call. Paul Thomas Anderson. But at least Francine had a whole new section created for her to be nominated. Paul has been nominated for the Oscars 11 times, and he has never won. Well, until this night. After 11 years, his film won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Supporting Actor, Best Film Editing, and Best Casting. Talk about a massive comeback. He won 6 Oscars in one night. The joy on his face was indescribable, and when he finally got up to that stage to accept Best Director, he literally said, "You make a guy work hard for one of these." And after 11 nominations, this is one of the most earned jokes ever to be told on that stage. But as people laughed, some people in the audience could not help but ask, when someone wins at the Oscars, is it talent? Is it timing? Is it just vibes and connections? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Blink and you missed it, but these reactions said everything. This is no doubt my favorite part, because when people were clapping and cheering, there were some emotions that the camera tried to hide, but the photographers failed at it. Still, I strongly believe that the Oscars should come with subtitles for facial expressions, because there's always at least one moment where someone in that audience is feeling something deeply, and their face is just telling on them. And this year had 2 big ones. But let's start with the moment that had a president paying for a whole family flight to the Oscars. Jessie Buckley, you may think this wasn't necessary, but after staying for 98 years without your country winning anything in the Oscars, you would be pretty excited when one of your citizens is even nominated. When Jessie Buckley won Best Actress at the Oscars, she covered her face with her hands and shook her head like she couldn't believe it. She won for playing a grieving mother in Hamnet and became the first Irish woman to ever win Best Actress at the Oscars. Ever. In 98 years. Ireland was so happy that the president put out an official statement, and her whole family got their flights paid for to be there in the audience. Her whole family. And in her speech, she ended with "Go Rive Mile Math Agat," which is "thank you very much" in Irish. She said it like she'd been saving that moment her whole life. And honestly, she had. Delroy Lindo. This was painful to watch, and I think you know why. Delroy has been acting for decades, and he was in amazing projects like Malcolm X, Da 5 Bloods, and even in Sinners. Obviously, he is a great actor, but he got his first Oscar nomination at 73. As if that wasn't enough, he didn't win. When the camera caught his face, he wasn't clapping. He just sat there totally still, and his expression said everything without saying anything. It reminded people of the time Beyoncé won the Grammy for an album that wasn't as good as Billie Eilish's songs. Spike Lee even said in an interview after the show, "My one big disappointment is my brother Delroy Lindo." And honestly, we feel the same way. Was it the movie or the music that moved you? The pain we all felt when Delroy lost is the same emotion that Ludwig knows how to create in his movies. He can make you watch a scene in a movie and you won't know why, but you will just start crying. It's not the scene, really. It's the music that got you, and Ludwig Göransson is responsible for that. He's a Swedish composer, and this year he won his 3rd Oscar for Best Original Score, this time for Sinners. Currently, he has 3 Oscars. His previous 2 were for Black Panther in 2019 and Oppenheimer in 2024. But his work has made him win Oscars back-to-back, and nobody else has done that this century. The most beautiful part is how he was able to make his music so beautiful. He has kept it a secret for a long time. But during his acceptance speech, he finally told everyone what we have been itching to hear. It all started with his dad, who was living in Sweden in 1964. He bought a John Lee Hooker blues album. As of that time, his dad had never been to America, and he had no real connection to that music, but it moved him so much that he gave his whole life to music. And when Ludwig was 7, his dad put a guitar in his hands. That guitar eventually brought him to the States, and the rest is history. This kind of drama can only be seen at the Oscars. First, it starts simply with just the red carpet, but then it ends with a history that gets you wishing the night would not end. But somewhere in the middle of all the fashion, the politics, the facial expressions, and the after-parties, The real story was being written. You just had to know where to look. Which of these was your favorite moment? Comment it down below and don't forget to subscribe.